Good morning, students. Myself Rishit. I'll be teaching accountancy for this year. Now today we shall be resuming with first chapter, that is accounting and its terminology. Now this is a theoretical chapter. Majorly accounts is related to sums. However, in order to solve sums we need to understand the basic terminology we need to apply in day-to-day life. So in this chapter we will be going through the meaning of accounting, then characteristics, objectives, advantages, limitations, then kind of qualitative characteristics, who are actually the users of accounting information. Then this is most important, the terminology of accounting, means various terms we use in day-to-day life. This is just to avoid technological jargon. We have to learn the basic terms we apply in accounts in day-to-day life, and thereafter types of accounts and steps of preparation of accounts. Now let us resume with the meaning part of accounting. So now to begin with meaning of accounting. As such we are aware about it. Meaning accounting is basically just trying to estimate what is the inflows, outflows, या profit earned या loss incurred. Normal point which comes in our mind from accounting word is to keep or maintain records related to financial transaction. Now it is much broader than what we think. In accounting it's a big process which begins from recording and ends at interpretation. I'll be explaining the same gradually. Now in my words, accounting, it is art of recording. It is specifically termed as an art. The reason behind it stated as an art is you have to solve it in a skilled manner. Means it is not purely up to you, in whichever manner you want you can write. It has to be written in a specific manner and in a skilled manner. That's why it is termed as art of recording. Now what do we record here? The process of accounting begins with identification of transactions. Here transactions implies those events which are of economic nature and related to business. Again I am repeating, transaction means events of economic nature and related to business. However, these transactions in themselves do not mean anything in accounting. We have to convert it into accounting language. In order to convert it into accounting language, we convert the transactions into accounting language by passing journal entries. Now it's a process which will be explained gradually. In journal entries we convert, you can, in simple manner you can say, in journal entries we convert the normal language related transactions into accounting language. However, from journal entries also we cannot derive what we are writing here. So from journal entries further we need to classify them into ledger accounts. Now ledger accounts, from here you will come to know the importance of accounting procedure. Through ledger account you can come to know what is the total value of purchase made during the year, what is the total value of sales made during the year, what was the income earned during the year, what was the expense incurred during the year. These are the various things you can come to know from ledger. You can come to know about each and every income, expense, asset, liability through ledger. But again, ledger will just provide you raw information. So in order to identify the profit or loss, we further need to summarize it into financial statement or final accounts, which is the last phase of the accounting procedure. But before we summarize it into financial statement, one step in between comes is preparation of trial balance. Now why do we prepare trial balance? So trial balance is basically prepared so as to know the arithmetical accuracy of the procedure solved up till now here. Like transactions, they have to identify it. After identifying transaction we need to convert it into accounting language. From it we are required to prepare ledger, and from ledger we will be preparing a statement which will help you identify whether you have committed mistake or solved everything in correct manner up till here. So trial balance is prepared, and furthermore trial balance also forms basis for preparation of final accounts. Now this final accounts, they are also known as financial statement, that is last phase of accounting, where the purpose of writing accounts come. Means why we are writing accounts? The normal thing which comes in our mind is to identify profit or loss. So in order to identify profit or loss, or in order to identify the financial position of company, we prepare financial statement, yeah, final accounts. So this is the end of the procedure. Again, from definition point of view, Accounting, it is an art of recording. What do we record? Transactions and journal entries. Thereafter we classify them into ledger accounts. On the basis of classification, we need to summarize it into trial balance and financial statement. So accounting was art of recording, classifying and summarizing all the financial transactions of business. Means the transactions which we were speaking here, they should be strictly of financial nature. Financial nature transaction means like paying wages to a worker is a transaction, but appointing a worker in organization is not a transaction. Means whenever there is give or take or some consideration involved in an event, it will be considered as economic event, and that kind of economic event will be termed as financial transaction. So it was again art of recording, classifying and summarizing all the financial transactions of business. This is again very important. The financial transactions which we are speaking about should be strictly related to the business organization. Means we should not be considering our personal transactions into business or business transactions into personal life. We have to strictly consider that financial transactions of business only. Why do we do so? To know the actual position. Actual position means to determine whether the company is growing or declining. So in order to identify the position, we prepare this procedure or carry out this procedure of business, and for the purpose of, why do we write it? So it is for the purpose of analysis. What do we analyze from same? So it is like preparation of report card, identifying whether we are earning profit or incurring loss, whether we are growing or declining. That kind of analysis is carried out, and once we analyze things compared to last year, current year, what is the position, we can analyze things based on accounts. After analysis, we can come to know whether what all steps are required to improve our organization, or how to overcome the losses, or how to expand, increase the profits. That kind of interpretative actions can be taken by the organization. So this was all about meaning of accounting. Now let us go through characteristics of accounting. Under characteristics of accounting, the very first characteristic of accounting is financial characteristic. Means the records written here are of financial nature. They should be strictly of quantitative nature and not of qualitative nature. Means we do not consider here non-financial transaction. We record transactions only of financial nature. Like again I am repeating that example, appointing a worker is not a transaction, but paying salary is a transaction. Second is money should be the medium of exchange. Means all the things like building purchase, we are not going to write purchase of one building, purchase of two machineries or three motor vehicle. We have to convert everything in monetary terms, and thereafter they have to be recorded in books of accounts. So money becomes the medium of exchange in accounting. Then third is classification and analysis of transaction. Means we need to classify whether it's a transaction or not. If it's a transaction, it is of cash nature transaction or credit nature transaction. For example, purchasing goods and paying cash immediately is considered as cash transaction, but purchasing goods and paying the money later on will be considered as a credit transaction. In accounts we record cash as well as credit transaction. So in this case we need to classify and analyze what kind of transaction it is. Then interpretation of transaction, means transactions help you to interpret whether the organization is earning profit or incurring loss. So all the kind of interpretation can be carried out on the basis of transaction. Then quantitative information, the information should be of quantitative nature and not of qualitative nature. Like everything should be in monetary terms. Then economic decisions should be capable, we should be capable to make economic decisions out of the accounting. Means whatever accounts we are writing, it should be such that helps us to take economic decisions. And last one, the information recorded is always of historical nature. Historical nature information means the transactions are always based on past and not based on future. So accordingly that information is utilized for writing accounts. So let us again recollect the characteristics of accounting. Accounting involves the transaction which are of financial nature. Means the characteristic of accounting is of financial nature. Money acts as medium of exchange. Means whatever transaction takes place, it should be in monetary terms. Classification and analysis of transaction, means we need to classify whether it's a cash or non-cash transaction, whether it is of economic or non-economic nature, and accordingly they will be analyzed and recorded. Interpretation of transactions mean transactions help us identify the financial position. As we have already seen, the procedure which I was speaking about, transactions forms basis of all these things, and on this basis we prepare financial statement. So transactions help you interpret or take decision what is actually happening or going to happen in the organization. Quantitative information means information should be in monetary terms and not in physical units. We should be capable of making economic decisions based on the transaction. And finally, the transactions which are recorded here in accounting are based on past data. So it is always historical information, and that information is used for writing accounts. You can say accounts is always based on historical nature. Yeah, historical, yeah, past data. Now third part of the chapter, that is objective of accounting. So the question arises, why do we write accounts? It is very much necessary that accounts are maintained in the organization because we can come to know easily what transaction took place on which date. Like we may be purchasing goods from a creditor, they may be selling you at different price. It is not his responsibility, it is our responsibility to check whether he is changing prices. If he is increasing the price, we have to take care because we are going to suffer loss. So we need to maintain the accounts in proper manner. So in short, accounting helps you to maintain permanent records in the organization. Means as and when you require, you can easily refer to the data and identify what all transactions of financial nature took place, and on the basis of same again decisions could be made. Second is to know the effect of each and every transaction. Means each and every transaction will lead to increase in profit or decrease in profit, or increase in assets or liabilities, or decrease in assets or liabilities. For example, if we purchase goods on credit, we will be receiving goods, and if we purchase it on credit, our liability would also increase. So there are multiple possibilities of impact on income, expense, assets or liability. So all those things could be identified on the basis of accounting. Then third is it helps you to identify the tax liability. Means you can, on the basis of the procedure of accounting, you can come to know what is the annual profit earned or loss incurred. On the basis of profit earned or loss incurred, you are required to pay tax. You can easily plan what would be the tax liability for us on the basis of the accounting information which we recorded. If the accounts are recorded in authentic manner, we can easily identify what is the correct tax liability of this organization. Then to know the influential factors affecting the accounting procedure, yeah, business organization. For example, because of what reason our profits increased, yeah, because of what reason our expenses increased and loss was incurred. These all kind of influential factors can be identified from the accounting procedure. If we refer to accounting procedure, we will come to know because of what reason our profits increased, yeah, losses were incurred, yeah, profit decreased, yeah, losses are increasing. These all things can be identified. Then identifying the quantum of payable, that is at the end of a specified period, we can come to know what is the total liability of the organization. Means how much amount is payable by the organization to outsiders. Same way, we can also determine the size of receivables. Means how much amount we are supposed to collect from outsiders. It is again, we need to keep in mind, this is our business, we need to take care from whom we are supposed to collect money, and from whom and to whom we are liable to pay money, and to what extent we are supposed to collect and to what extent we are supposed to pay. Because in case if you are not maintaining those kind of records properly, you may have to suffer loss. Then to measure the profitability, the primary purpose for writing accounts is to identify whether we are earning profit or incurring loss. So in order to measure the profitability of the organization, we write accounts. Then to check the financial position of our business, whether what is the position of resources like assets of the organization, what is the position of obligations, that is liabilities of the organization. So economic status, whether the business is improving or declining, that kind of thing can be ascertained only on the basis of financial statement written by the organization. And last one, to check or detect errors or fraud committed in our organization. If you write accounts in a systematic manner, you can easily identify the mistakes committed, and even you can avoid fraudulent activities carried out in the organization. So in order to keep a check or to avoid possible losses due to this kind of problems, the business may be able to overcome on the basis of writing of accounts in proper manner. So this was all about today. Now tomorrow we will be continuing with advantages and limitations. Thank you. Have a good day.